Alright guys, welcome to another episode here on the Perfection channel, and today I'm here to discuss the decline of the Dragon Ball games franchise, but in particular the Xenoverse series, because I feel like the Xenoverse series is the biggest offender of what I'm about to talk about, so I have to highlight them. Now,
all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up, and they stay there.
a lot of people wonder why. Why do people like me, Kid from the Six, amongst a lot of other people, talk about the game negatively? Why do we speak poorly of people who praise the game, like the squad? Why do we take the stance that we take? So, well, to those people, I'm gonna go ahead and pose the question: is Xenoverse 2 really up to par? Like, is it really achieving and doing what it should be doing? And if you were to ask the community, is Xenoverse 2 really up to par? The unanimous answer that you'll get from the community, the unfiltered community, is no. The game is flawed in so many respects that if you're a true fan, it's a sin not to underline these issues so that the company doesn't control the narrative and says that, oh, well, everyone's happy, the game is perfect, there's no problems, and we're just gonna tell the story that we want to tell. If Dimps could wave a magic wand and keep you guys blind to the truth, trust me, they will. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you another question. Where was the effort really put into Xenoverse 2? Was it the roster? Was it the story mode, the PQs, the online? And you're sitting there and you can't find the effort. I mean, I'm gonna go through each of these criteria, each of these categories, and show you where they put no effort into this game. So if you get into the roster, what did they really do? Withholding DLC, when you look at the roster and what you got, when you fully unlocked everybody, were you really happy? No, honestly, you were not happy, because you ended up with tons of reskins of characters that were only made their own characters to pump up the roster count. You got, what, like 5 or 6 movie characters, which you got Cooler counts for at least 2 of those characters. Actually, he counts as 3 different slots, but he counts for Meta Cooler and Cooler. Oh, and actually, he counts again as base form Cooler, so he's taken up 4 different slots just to pump up the roster count, right? So, I mean, is that effort? You only truly got, you truly got Future Gohan, Cooler, Lord Slug, Super Saiyan Form Gogeta, Janemba, and let's see, I think it was one more. But you put that, you take all those characters that they gave you, not like you paid for them, but they gave you, and you put that against what you don't have. You don't have Android 13, you don't have Android 15, 14, Super 13. You're missing the base form and the Super Saiyan form of Broly. So right there, we're at 7. And that's still not all of them, but I'm showing you that versus what they gave you versus what they didn't give you, that would have been relatively easy to go ahead and throw in there. That's just movie characters. That's just a few movie characters. Let's go ahead and toss in Bojack. Full power Bojack. Let me go ahead and clarify that, because they're giving him to you in base form in DLC. Where's Zangya? And when I talk about roster, what I'm getting at here is that we're in the PS4 era, where we're supposed to be about progressing to the next level in gaming. We're supposed to be beyond everything in PS3, but as far as Dragon Ball games is concerned, we still don't have all the content from Rage and Blast 2. Rage and Blast 2, you look at all the characters they gave you versus this game, it's almost a shame that we call this the progressive step of Dragon Ball games. They gave you, well, let me see, Rage and Blast 2. I still have it. I could probably turn the game on and look at the roster, but they gave you Hatchyak. They gave you Tarble. They gave you Dabura. They gave you some what-if forms for Broly and Vegeta. You had every character that was available at that time. Of course, they didn't have the Battle of God characters. They skimped us on GT, which is a lot of the reason why they didn't achieve what they could achieve, because you remember that whole debacle about some community manager and he said there was going to be GT in the game. There wasn't GT in the game. But that's to show you that we're not up to par. We're not exceeding what was previously available to us in past games. You want me to talk about the PQ quests or the PQs? If you compare Xenoverse 1, all the PQs that were available, 1 to 98 or 1 to 100, and you compare that against Xenoverse 2, if you want to count DLC missions, count DLC missions. But you realistically only got, like 7 new PQ quests? They recycled all of the old PQ quests and barely did any work on any new PQ quests. So where's the effort? Look at the story mode. The story mode is 75% the same story mode. They just chunked in a couple of new characters. That's all. You didn't really get any new characters or new scenarios until after, right around there in the Cell Saga, because in the Namekian Saga, yeah, they tossed Cooler in there as an interrupter for the Goku versus Frieza fight. They tossed in Turles and Lord Slug, and you really only fought them once or twice, and they didn't impact the story at all. And what work did they do? Honestly, I'm starting to question whether more than a week or two went into the story mode for Xenoverse 2. And don't even get me started on the online mode, because they told us all leading up to the game that, okay, we fixed online, your hits are gonna register, people with good connections are gonna feel like they have good connections, everything's gonna flow perfectly. But before the game could even come out, what happened? What happened at the Tokyo Game Show 2016? On their own floor show, they were embarrassed because the game was freezing. I can't express to you how awful that is for a company when you're trying to show people that the online is better, the game is great, we fixed everything, and then you're getting characters freezing on the screen, and you're having to have people delete the live streams and delete streams. They come back and then they do an offline battle and try to pretend like everything's cool and we didn't just see what happened live. One of the biggest issues in this community and with this game, with Xenoverse in particular, is recycled content. Now, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to use old assets and repurpose them, but when you look at Xenoverse and you take a real long, in-depth look at everything, category by category, recycled content is one of the biggest issues. If I could put it top 3, one of the top 3 issues in this game. Xenoverse 2, this is what I expected from the Xenoverse series. Xenoverse 1, we gave them a pass. We said, you know what, that's the first game. Everyone makes mistakes. The first game of a Dragon Ball game is always going to be crap. Let's just ignore the problems and act like nothing is wrong. And what did that get us? We get the Xenoverse 2. Still the same problems, if not more. But what I expected character-wise, what I expected gameplay-wise, I expected Xenoverse 1 to kind of be basic. I expected us to get every character from the main saga, like Deborah and the androids 19 and 20 and Frieza forms and whatnot. And then I expected the second game to be the movie character game. I expected us to get all the little movie characters, 13, Bojack, Hatchak, Janemba. Of course we did get Janemba, but you see my point. Xenoverse 2 should have just been movie character after movie character after movie character, even going after obscure movie characters that we've never seen before. Xenoverse is supposed to be about characters and scenarios that we haven't seen before. And then Xenoverse 3 should have been the what if game. It should have been just like, what if Super Saiyan 4 Broly? What if Super Saiyan this? What if this form that? What if Golden Cooler? But it looks like we're struggling to get what we're supposed to get, and that's the issue. And all of this, all of the problems with this community, the problem that we have goes back to an old saying. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. If people are trying to scold you for complaining about things, you need to register them as part of the problem. You need to perceive them as part of the problem, because again, you're only going to get help. You're only going to get what you want by speaking out about the issues. If you're trying to cover up the issues or trying to downsize the issues and act like they're minuscule and they're non-existent, you're only aiding the problem, and that's what people don't get. You need a lot of people see this is another issue. People think that just because big YouTubers are happy with the game, that there's no issues, when they're not, when they're the minority. See, the Dragon Ball YouTubers, they're the minority. How many people complain about this game, but they don't have a platform to complain about this game, about the franchise? Just the community is made up of more than just people on YouTube. It's people who don't do YouTube. It's people who, if they have YouTube channels, who's to say they post Xenoverse content? They're upset. I talk to these people every day on different gaming forums, on Twitter. You know, they're upset that this game is underachieving. So what I want to take you guys home with is this one saying. If you're not complaining, or you feel like you're going to get attacked for complaining, don't worry about it, because you're ultimately helping the game. If they do nothing, at least you helped unearth the problem. At least you didn't let them go by without saying that, hey, there's nothing wrong with this game. It's absolutely perfect. Nobody said anything. The community was mostly satisfied, and that's not the case. It's a travesty that people want to weave that narrative. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's the only way things are going to improve with Xenoverse. I've been your perfect being, the Super Itachi. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also follow me on Twitch, Twitter as well. Want to become a true perfectionist? Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you do know when I drop videos, when I do my rank series, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.